y'all. Hey y'all, I'm Evan. So today I'm gonna be talking about stigma and substance misuse training, implementing SBIRT, and I'll inform y'all what SBIRT is in a minute. So a quick overview of substance misuse. So I think we all are well aware that substance misuse is pretty high right now in the country, especially with opioid usage, particularly in the Appalachian region, which is where I'm located at and where my main research is being conducted at. So yeah, we have highest rates, and we've been impacted by opioids for well over 10 plus years now, and people are trying to come up with interventions. And then MFTs, why is this important for MFTs? I'm not going to go into soapbox, but I think that substance misuse treatment is best done through a relational perspective. We can talk about that one-on-one if you want to meet up with me, because I love having that conversation. So stigma. So stigma is defined as a socially determined concept referring to devaluation of individuals due to distinguishing characteristics. This definition is important because this helped guide my construction of latent variables and how to define latent variables that I use in my model later on. And the stigma heavily impacts the helping service field, and especially prevalent when working with people with substance misuse. So another important piece to this study is that it's coming from doing the trainings and training healthcare providers how to screen for substance misuse. And what I've been finding and what my team has been finding is that people are still have this huge stigma around substance misuse and people who misuse them. I actually went to a community training not too long ago, and they still showed the pictures of this is what someone who does meth looks like, right? I'm sure y'all have all seen those pictures, and it's like, why is this still happening? You know, how is that productive? And us as therapists, we understand that, but if you want to get outside of the therapy field, especially in Appalachia where we're training nurses how to do this, there's still that high stigma and high prevalence. So SBIRT, screening brief, intervention, referral to treatment. This is a SAMHSA initiative. It's being piloted throughout the country in training programs. And the main goal with this is motivational interviewing and teaching anyone, not just clinicians, how to use motivational interviewing to discuss substance misuse. So the current study at Virginia Tech, which is what I'm a part of, is one of the largest SBIRT training studies in the country. Our target sample size is 900 students. We're working with 4 different universities in the area to train mental health practitioners, nurse practitioners, and medical doctors. Let's see. So we're doing pre-post test. It's a pretty longitudinal study. There's 5 waves that we're conducting, and I'm focused on the first wave for this data. Make sure. And of course, funded by SAMHSA. Got to say that. You know, you got to pay tribute to your funding source. So the study today is, the purpose is to just gain an understanding of any stigma that is happening in these students concerning substance misuse. So does the student stigma impact the performance on screening for substance use within their clients? And again, this comes from working with these students one-on-one and finding that there's still this heavy stigma found within. And so I use a full structural equation model to test this. SAMHSA strategic initiatives. So these are the initiatives that the study relates to. So a pretty good amount. I mean, almost all of them. Again, SBIRT is basically a SAMHSA product. So this is my proposed SCM model, and I'm gonna kind of break all this down and where we got the latent variables and how I constructed that. So my methods, participants for this one, I just looked at nursing students because I wanted to just hone in on the nursing students, and they're further along than the counselor education students and, is that music? Yeah. Counselor ed students to give me a larger sample. So this comes from Radford University, Jefferson Health, College of Health and Sciences. And again, SAMHSA identified this population for us. Okay, so these are the demographics, and this is a limitation because it's majority white female. So female is 92.8%, and then white is, where is it, 88%. This is kind of representative of the area of the Appalachian Mountains on kind of the training programs and the demographics that they attract. So the measures that I use, filling. So this is a filling scale if you want to look at it. I can give you the resource, but basically 6 questions total Likert, 5-point Likert. The reliability was really low, but this is a published scale. But this was the highest reliability of all the other scales. So beliefs about people. This is another scale, 12 questions. I had to pull questions from this because reliability was low. I'm going to speed up just a little bit if you want to know more about the measures. So attitudes, again, pulled questions using that definition. And then the awareness scale, this is a really cool scale in terms of, it basically gives people a rating of 1 to 11, of 11 being the closest or most aware of substance misuse, which would be their family members are impacted by substance misuse. So their performance was measured by, they actually go to a simulation lab and perform SBIRT, and they're rated by their instructor. The problem with this is that there was low variability within their performances. The instructors are basically giving everyone a perfect score. So I had to pick and pull questions using that definition again. So the analysis, structural equation modeling was used. Results, overall, lack of fit. And I've reworked this model so many times, but I haven't given up yet, okay? But there was a significant beta path from exposure to performance. So this is what, I use Listroll. I don't know if anyone else uses Listroll, but you have to actually like type in and create your own syntax. This is the output I get, but this is a cleaner version showing the significant beta path. Okay, so conclusions. The SCM data didn't match up, but we haven't given up yet. We're going to rework the model. Actually, I have a play date set with a statistician when I get back from Germany to kind of go through these variables once more and see what we can do. And then we're also in the process of doing qualitative interviewing and kind of gaining more of the voices of these students and why there might be this high amounts of stigma in terms of substance misuse. And then I'm also doing trainings catered to understanding how the Appalachian culture, the minority culture of Appalachia, is impacting the stigma. But what I'm finding is that a lot of these students aren't from Appalachia who are in these training programs, and that can have a huge impact as well. So discussion, why is this important to y'all? As doc students, we at some point will probably be training clinicians or working in integrative healthcare. And so just kind of understand that the stigma around substance use is still there and to kind of incorporate that. And I think we do that pretty well as clinicians, but once we get outside of the therapy field, I think it catches us off guard that people still have the stigma. I mean, even just the language that we use, you know, using substance abuse is stigmatizing, so substance misuse and things like that. And future research is just to continue doing some mixed methods and gaining a more understanding of any cultural differences and impact. Any questions? Yeah.
So Evan, your experience with implementing SBIRT, like your perception is that the nursing students, like the stigma